It's just an amazing thing that OA has been able to do, is just bring so many different people from so many different walks of life and allow them to find common ground.
And I feel, especially living in Chicago, it's still a very segregated city. There's not a lot of cross-cultural relationships. I mean, I grew up in a very, very white area. I wasn't exposed to different ways of life, different cultures. And then I got to college. I was able to intern with Orange Arrow, and that just, it opened so many doors for me to learn more about other people and how other cultures, you know, do things. And it was really great to be able to see, not only for me to get exposure, but to see other kids get exposure to other ways of life. And I think that's so important. For those of you who don't know, I'm in law school right now. I'm just about to finish my third year, and through law school and just seeing what's going on in our legal system, there's so many disparities, racial disparities in the legal system. And I mean, it's disheartening and it's sad, and it's, I do believe that it is fixable. And that's if we get people in who are willing to build these cross-cultural relationships. It starts with organizations like Orange Arrow that are willing to give kids, starting at that age, that exposure, because it's so important to their development and how they go on.
That I work for an organization that has 100,000 employees globally, and my role really, I live in the diversity and inclusion space. My role is to, Lou talked about exposure. So my role is to engage, expose persons of color or communities to various opportunities within my industry.
It warms my heart to hear some of our former student athletes talk about this experience, because the experience of going to college, being on a team, working together, supporting each other, recognizing everybody's talents and where they need help, you know, all the relationship building things that happen, it's just so great to hear that. And one of my thoughts going into today's program was that one thing I have learned is that when I teach or I coach, I also learn. And no matter how old you are, this is one of the things you realize when you're teaching and coaching. So I think that when the benefits to the young students of having these role models, these college student athletes as role models, is just so incredibly important that all these kids can see themselves there. The other thing I love about Orange Arrow is the impact it has on the college student athletes that are participating as volunteers, coaches, and interns, because it is impossible to reach out and help others without learning yourself. You have to open yourself up. You have to communicate. You have to be aware. You have to listen. You have to examine your own values and what you really believe in before you can share that and teach that. So like, to me, one of the beauties of Orange Arrow is not just the great experiences that the young kids have, but also the learning experiences and growing experiences that the college student athletes can have. And I just think it just comes full circle.
Some of the things that I've definitely been privileged of with Orange Arrow as actually working as a program coordinator and creating a lot of the content and some of the things that we teach the student athletes. You know, there's been plenty of hours spent with Ron and I are in the office, Sean and I in the office, Mike and I in the office, working together as a team to collectively create something that is great and beneficial for not only the student and the college student, being the coach and the kids playing together in a competitive environment, but also learning. A lot of the things that I'm most proud about is actually the safe space that we've created for the kids to have open dialogue about a lot of their past, a lot of their upbringings, because a lot of these kids might not be able to say that to a teacher. You know, a lot of the teachers that they might have might be a different race than they are. A lot of the things that we've provided to them have been multiracial leaders, bringing specialists in that are both colors, all colors, everyone being a part of as a team to collectively create and teach and help create a new perspective for the youth. And I think that's been a big part of the reason why we've grown and a lot about what we're going to do in the future.
I think that Donna made a really, really good point about how, you know, we, or especially me, going and working with Orange Arrow, like I feel like I learned so much from them. And coming from Hawaii, I feel like I have already kind of a diverse and special background, but the one that I was kind of thrown into and kind of immersed myself in Pittsburgh was really, really different than anything that I've experienced before. And so Orange Arrow was kind of a great way for me to immerse myself in that and to be able to really connect with the youth and the city, and, you know, to kind of see what else there is outside of campus. And like just working with those kids, it was super eye-opening for me. And I feel like I've learned so much. And then I think Rara kind of mentioned leadership, and I think that it's the kids that also can get a lot from us and from kind of the diversity and inclusion that we all kind of show when we're with them, you know? It's like, I think during my time there at Summer Academy, it was maybe like me, Mike, Kellen, and Rara. And so we all kind of, you know, we work on all cylinders. We're working together, running around and stuff like that, bouncing off each other. And so I feel like the kids can really look at us and kind of take note from like what we're doing. You know, I feel like they see it in us first, and, you know, they're like, this is how we should be acting. This is how inclusion looks like. And so I think having a diverse leadership group and a diverse staff is huge, and what kind of starts Orange Arrow and that kind of diversity and inclusion that the kids are really, really taking a lot from.
Yeah, I'm an Orange Arrow parent. Dylan is my son. He became involved in Orange Arrow a couple of years ago. I sing its praises constantly. I tell everybody about it that will listen, because this program has been so incredible for him. I've seen so much growth in Dylan and his confidence. Dylan comes from a pretty diverse family, and so and he loves sports. You know, he's tried everything: hockey, football. This program is this program is so unique because I feel like the skills and the things that he's learned and the relationships that he's made and had will stay with him forever. And I mean, he's only 13; he's really little, but you know, I just feel like this program has deeply made an impact on him in the last 2 years, and I can't say enough about it. And I also wanted to say, I think it was Mike maybe mentioned the safe space. I really love the safe space that you guys have created for the kids to have these brave conversations and dialogue, and especially now when it's needed more than ever. So